Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Let's Go Racing Motorsports Report. I am Mike Babicz, your host, and I'll be working some various places in the 2025 season, and I'm looking forward to it. So again, welcome everybody. We are going a week earlier than we had anticipated. We've been going once a month. We're actually going to be on twice a month in March. But that's because we're going to take a couple of weeks off probably and be back with you right around Easter weekend or maybe that Monday thereafter. So we certainly want to thank all the folks that bring us to you each week. Now we're going to start getting weekly right after the Easter holiday. We want to thank B&L Office Furniture, American Tire and Truck Repair of Lindenhurst and Kenosha. We're going to have Scott Carpenter on shortly. Of course, Steve Sinclair and the Bumper to Bumper IRA Outlaw Sprint Cars. They've got a big event coming up. Actually, their season opener will be the first weekend in April. But they've also got a big event coming up on May the 3rd at Wilmot Raceway. And then they'll be starting their Midwestern tour a little bit closer to home. They also have a big event coming up the week before that up at Beaver Dam Raceway. And we're going to talk to Jeff Wessel in a little bit about that. And I will be calling the IRA classes, not only at Wilmot, but other area tracks from time to time as well, including the Lightning Sprints, the 1175 IRA Lightning Sprints, and the Wisconsin Wingless Sprint Cars. And I'll be looking forward to doing that and working with Steve and everybody with the IRA this season. Of course, Great Lakes Dragaway. Randy and Connie and John, they actually are getting rolling pretty good. Banquet was last night, Saturday night, the 29th of March, and John has actually gotten tied up and is doing some things this afternoon, so we won't have his regular report, but I'll try to give you a little bit of what's going on up there at Great Lakes Dragaway a little bit later on. They're actually, I believe, starting Monday or Tuesday, probably Tuesday, because they usually aren't open Mondays. They're just going to be open for kind of some open drags and for people to do some test and tunes and that kind of thing. So check out GreatLakesDragaway.com for all the latest information up there. And of course, Hartnell Chevrolet, we're going to be having some car shows up there from motorsports and custom car shows at various times throughout the summer season. We'll have more information for you from time to time. We're looking forward to that. And coming on board officially, People Architectural Group, Sarah Missiel, the CEO and founder. And not if I don't hold it up properly, I won't be working for her much longer. So I will find it and show you that. Here it is. I picked up the wrong thing. That's all right. Isn't live, just so much fun. So anyway, this is Let It Bloom that is going to be coming up on Wednesday, April the 16th, that the People Architectural Group is putting together. And it is going to be at Bernie's Book Bank, and that is located in Lake Bluff, Illinois. And go to peoplearchitecturalgroup.com for more information. And you can also email me at mbabicz, BABICZ, at peopletugroup.com. And I can get you more information. We'd love to have you. If you've got a question about human resources and how to hire people and how to keep good people, this is a don't miss event. So look forward to joining us at the Let It Bloom Human Resources Conference that'll be coming up again on Wednesday, April the 16th. So hoping, here, I'll show it again, especially since it's my boss, you know. So again, looking forward to just having a great event that day, and we hope you consider joining us. Also, of course, coming up not too long from now, on May the 4th, is the 45th annual Bars Let's Go Racing Motorsports and Custom Car Show, presented by my good friend Larry Roebuck, is helping us tremendously with that event. Want to thank Larry. Also want to thank these folks, partners with us, Hartnell Chevrolet, Great Lakes Dragaway, Whitmore's Service of Waukegan, Greentown on the Rocks, Goodwin Performance, of course, Mark and Tony Maglio of Bodycraft, Force One Performance, B&L Office Furniture, Jack's Helmet Designs, A-Main Apparel, MLS Auto Clinic, and of course the IRA. So that'll be coming up on Sunday, May the 4th. Plan on joining us. We're going to have 2 bands there, and we'll have more information on that on our show that'll be following Easter. Want to also thank John Hatterline, attorney at law, Kaylee Burns, who has her hair salon in Kansasville, Fox Lake Harbor, Rely Local. I mentioned Jack's Helmets, Force One Performance Products, Hunt Club of Richmond, J&J Powder Coating, Midwest Motor Coach. They do their very best for the Lake County Honor Flight, and then also Stars and Stripes Honor Flight. And again, we want to congratulate MLS Auto Clinic. They are going to rename the starter stand at Wilmot Raceway. It's going to be named the Honor Flight Starter Stand, presented by MLS Auto Clinic, Eddie and Debbie Boyd. Want to thank them for that partnership that's coming about very soon. Also, Bodycraft, that is going to be a big supporter and presenter once again of the IRA Founders Night that'll be coming at Wilmot Raceway on Memorial Day weekend. We'll have more on that as that gets closer. And also, Bodycraft is providing a pace vehicle for the traveling IRA series. So watch for the new pace truck from Bodycraft for the IRA in their traveling series. Waukegan Harbor and Marina, Greentown on the Rocks, we already mentioned. Of course, Randy from Impressions Count, A-Main Apparel and Diecast, Garrett and the Tennyson family, Flow Racing, My Race Pass, Cabins on the Lake up there in Friendship, Wisconsin. You can stop by and see Patty and Eddie, always great hosts up there. Northern Illinois Council on Alcoholism and Substance Abuse. The NASCAR Not-for-Profit Day is going to be coming up in May. We'll have more information for that later on. 5-Star Race Car Bodies, Daniel Sanchez, Corey, and Carl Schultz. RC Electronics, Lake County Hose and Equipment, my good friend Bill Fusting. Buddies of McHenry, Weeby Waxon. Chad's getting everybody's boats and cars and all that all ready to go, especially with all this strange weather that we've been having. Culver's of Paddock Lake. Again, we're going to be looking to go on the road and go out to Culver's for a podcast coming up this year, so watch for that. Sleep in Heavenly Peace. Watch for some announcements regarding a special partnership we're going to do with them. And I mentioned Whitmore's Towing. Thomas Guard. If you have IT questions, reach out to Thomas Guard at thomasguard.com. They can help you out. And also 2 new ones that are coming on board. Game Day Men's Health. Game Day Men's Health. They have just opened up down in Vernon Hills. And I'll show you their business card here. So again, we hope that you can join them and stop by and check out what they have to offer. And great folks. They're also going to have a table and display at the show on May 4th. And they are also a new heat race sponsor for the IRA. So congratulations to Game Day Men's Health. And also we're talking too with Yorktown Health of Vernon Hills. It's a new doctor's office and clinic. And this is actually the doctor that is kind of in charge there, Dr. George. And they are joining us very, very soon. I'm not sure where this goes, where it doesn't get glare. There we go. But again, you can check out Yorktown Health, and great folks down there, and looking forward to working with them this season as well. So that takes care of all the folks that we like to welcome and thank for putting us on the air. If you want to get involved more, you can always contact Kent at Kent. What's your email? Where you want it sent to? There it is. If you'd like to be a sponsor, reach out to info@216thenet.com. And we'll get you involved with us. We'd certainly like to have you work with us. Nielsen Enterprises also working with us. Ted Nielsen and his fine crew. Of course, they're getting ready now for a little different season, putting the snowmobiles away, getting the ATVs, the UTVs, the four-wheelers, the boats, the jet skis. They've got it all. So check out Nielsen Enterprises. Do want to give our thoughts and prayers out to Ricky Nelson. Ricky, a really super guy, joined me several times on the microphone last year at Wilmot, and he also races a Bandit 4-cylinder car. His mother, Jackie Louise Hughes, passed away on March 26th, and our thoughts and prayers go out to Ricky and his family. And they will be having a celebration of life and service on April the 7th at the Miller Reisman Funeral Home in Union Grove, I believe it is. And again, our thoughts and prayers go out to Ricky. I know he was so excited because he got Mom out to the racetrack last summer on a night that he announced with me. And, I let him do a lot of the announcing that night because Mom was there, and he was hoping to win the feature, but that didn't quite happen. But he had a good run that night and was able to, Mom was able to see it. And so that was a great day and a great night for him. And again, our thoughts and prayers go out to Ricky, his wife, Alexis, and their entire family on the loss of Mom, Jackie Hughes. So we're going to bring in, speaking of four-cylinder cars, a guy that used to drive four-cylinder cars, and I don't know how much he's going to drive four-cylinder cars anymore. I don't know the status of his car from last year, the 47. I don't know if he's still got it or if he's going to drive it and do double duty and really have to get in shape for the next few weeks. But he's also moving up into the street stocks, and that's Scott Carpenter, who's also just a great friend and a great supporter of the Let's Go Racing Motorsports report, of the car show, of me personally. He provides this in-home studio. He's just a super, super guy. So Scott, welcome to the program. And hey, what's happening with your racing career? I mean, all of a sudden, this big announcement out of nowhere on Facebook, that you bought a car, one of the Joneses cars, and actually the Joneses are from the same town I grew up in, North Chicago. And, so now you've got one of their cars and you're getting that all spiffied up and ready to go this racing season. I understand you're going to run, of course, at Wilmot, but you also may hit some shows at a few other tracks. So tell everybody about the shift in gears, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me, Mike. I really appreciate it. It's a different change. Right now, as far as like doing two cars, double duty, probably not. I really need to sell the 4-cylinder. I got to pay my wife back. She borrowed me the money to buy the street stock. And, and, you need to pay your wife back.
That's right.
But, I'm looking forward to it. It's something new. It's something exciting. Last weekend I had my cousin-in-law, over to help me do some work on it. And, my cousin-in-law, Steve Ellis. So, right. And then Josh Gehring, he came over with his dad and his brother, and they checked it out, gave me some insight, a little tips and stuff. They hung out for a little while, and I'm totally looking forward and being a part of it. I'm going to miss my 4-cylinder family. Great group of people out there, super kind, helpful, made lots of friends. It's like one big family back there. And actually, that was like the comment Josh made too. He goes, because you're caught up in the front area, and then you go into the back area, and it's like a whole nother, group of racers back there.
Yeah, that's for sure. And what about just the actual difference between running in a 4-cylinder and now what size engine are you talking about in the street stock?
Well, you're going from a 4-cylinder, 2 point, or yeah, the 2 point, it was a 2.5 liter, and up now to a V8 and rear wheel drive versus front wheel drive. So that is going to be different. I've been racing that 4-cylinder, used to the front wheel on, a dirt track, whether it be slick or dry, and knowing how the car responds. But now going to something that has a lot more horsepower, rear wheel drive. And I've been watching some videos, and the street stock drivers, they're aggressive. So I think they're going to take me to school.
Yeah, they definitely can be, and they're like you say, a great group that just runs strong. They don't have a lot of numbers, at least at Wilmot they haven't had a lot of numbers in recent years, but some of them do travel. Some of them go up to 141 up there in Francis Creek, run up there on a semi-regular basis. And then, I think a couple of them have ventured down to Sycamore, and that's the street stocks, even though it's called the Unified Street Stocks, which my understanding means that their rules are similar at a number of different tracks. But I don't know I know the tracks in Wisconsin tend to be part of Unified. I don't know if Sycamore is part of Unified or has similar rules where your car would be able to run down there and run with theirs.
I think it would, because I've heard them talk about going down there with street stocks. Somebody, one of my fellow racers in the Bandits, was asking me about that. And he had mentioned, asked me if I'd go down to Sycamore. I don't know, maybe. I mean, I'm not going to say nothing's for certain a no or yes at the moment. I know 141, you can go up there. Gravity Park, that's another one that's up by 141. Mm-hmm. Josh had mentioned, about going up there. Then you have Plymouth with their limited schedule. I don't know if they're doing anything with street stocks this year. I'm not sure. I haven't looked at their schedule.
Yeah, that's at Beaver Dam.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if there's street stocks on Beaver Dam's schedule. The other one too that I just thought of as you were talking there, and we had them on a few weeks ago, to talk about their grand reopening, and that's down at LaSalle. LaSalle's got a number of different shows. They are running a limited schedule as well, usually a couple times a month kind of thing. I know they've got some UMP late models coming in there. They've got the IRAs going down there with, I believe, both the wingless and the 410 wing cars. So a little bit of everything that's going to be down there at LaSalle. And I believe one of the shows they did have street stocks as part of it. But again, their street stocks and the ones up here, I'm not quite sure. But part of me wants to say, well, if they don't really have a set schedule that you're racing for points during the course of a year, a lot of times then tracks actually, to be kind of frank, they take the easy way out and they say, if it's a street stock at your track, it's a street stock at our track. Bring it down.
Yeah, there you go.
Come on down and run.
Yeah, if you're not running for the points, it's not going to affect,
right,
affect what they got going on that night. But yeah.
Yeah, they just want to see some cars so people can see some racing.
Yeah.
What do you think the biggest adjustment is going to be for you from going from the 4-cylinder to the street stock? I have these visions, and I'm thinking that
coming out of turn
Are they
4.
the same visions that Michelle is having when you told her you were getting a street stock? I could imagine what those visions might have been.
I just feel like, when you come out, I got so used to how my 4-cylinder was when going green, whether it be, at the beginning of the race or during the caution and you're going green, and how I knew what the car was going to do. I felt comfortable with it. It doesn't have that big jump that I'm assuming that the 8-cylinder will have, which will probably, have loose tires if you get on the throttle too hard, I'm thinking. And then you're just going to do a 360 right there at the very beginning. So I'm a little nervous about that part, this guy's raced before,
Yeah.
I think the biggest adjustment really is going to be the up in horsepower, and then the rear wheel drive is probably really going to affect me a lot, getting used to the back end wanting to step out as opposed to the front end, bringing the car through the turns. That's going to be a big learning curve. I think I'll be okay. I've and getting used to the people you're racing with too. I've never raced with these guys. I was very used to a lot of the people that we raced with, as they were probably me. They knew how to predict my moves in some cases, just like I could, in some cases with some of our other bandit drivers. You kind of knew people's habits. After 5 years of racing with the same people, you tend to learn a lot. But I think that's going to be the other thing, is that, racing with Josh, or racing, Courtney Atkins comes out there, right, and decides she's going to throw me around a little bit and, take me to school, or Baker, I mean, there's our Craig Cruiser, I mean, there's some great, street stock drivers out there, and it's going to be exciting for me anyways. I'm sure my wife will be biting her nails and covering her eyes plenty of times.
Yeah, that's for sure. So, and I'll tell you, and, I'm sure your 47 car gave everybody a little bit of a scare toward the end of the season last year when it decided you wanted to make a lot of highlight reels. So what do? You go down the back straightaway and all this flame, so while leading, I mean, let's really get dramatic here.
Yeah. Hey, it was firework night. You remember?
Yeah.
And I just decided to turn the car into a Roman candle.
Yeah. So, that's kind of the way it happens sometimes. But So what is the status of the 4-cylinder? I mean, has somebody taken it off your hands, or do you still have it in the back of the garage? Or
no, nobody's taken it off my hands yet. I have it. It's in the warehouse out across the street from our store, so I'm keeping it stored there. And I like to keep my cars inside, through pretty much year round. Our regular family trucksters and cars, they can sit outside. My race car goes in the garage.
That's right. You got to have priorities.
Yeah.
A little hail today, as long as it doesn't hurt the race car, that's all right.
Yeah, exactly. But it's over there.
I'm running a limited schedule of announcing this year. Maybe I might have a night off that the bandits are running, and maybe actually Kathy is sitting over here, but maybe I just jump in your car and race them.
Yeah, absolutely, man. There's nothing to it. You'd fit in the seat. We're about the same size.
There you go. Just make sure it's not going to start, I don't want to have a marshmallow, cooking marshmallows on it while I'm going down the back straightaway.
No, we got that all taken care of. You're all good. My good buddy Tim and sponsor over at Great American Tire, he took care of me, man.
Wait, Scott. I should have I've been telling her she can't come on the show here. She just said she'll drive it for you.
Oh, there you go. You go, girl.
You got a smile out of her. She
Yeah.
actually is not going to come over here. She's got our cat sitting on her lap. So,
well,
he will get upset.
Yeah, there's a lot of ladies that race with the Bandits. There's a lot of them. Let me think. There's probably, well, I know at least 3, and great ladies. Gosh, are they competitive, man? You don't 3, 4. Yeah, 4 of them actually. They'll push you around a little bit. And Kathy, you can get out there and rub with them.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, and Jessica McKellips, I mean, she gave her husband Dave all he could handle, so that kind of interesting, to kind of see that. And the thing is, like you say, I mean, the Bandits are just such a fun group. They don't get hung up on who's winning. They don't get hung up, even if they get taken out. You don't see any fisticuffs in the pits later. You don't, I think maybe they might come over and say, "Are you going to buy me a piece of pizza since you just wrecked my car?" That'd be about it.
Yeah. Oh man.
But it is just a lot of fun. So, well, and again, I thank you and B&L Office Furniture for all of your support the last few years of the show. Of me personally, of us also down at the Motorsports Show, which we're looking forward to having your street stock down there, and on May 4th, we'll be looking forward to that. Ricky Nelson says he can't wait for the racing season. So, the familiar I don't know. Maybe he'll reply on Facebook here on our chat. I don't know if he's going to stick with the 222. He was talking to me last year at the end of the year that he may change the number. So we'll have to see what he comes out with. But, it'll be good to see him. He's a fun guy. I get many a phone call. Well, I'm going to race this week. Well, then I'd get a phone call a day later. Well, I can't get the car to run. I'm not going to race. I'll come announce with you.
Yeah.
So,
and that's one thing, like, you talk about that. I remember with him last year and with the Bandits, we have a group chat that had gotten started up. And when I was talking to Josh about it, he's like, "You guys do?" And I said, "Yeah." So there's like every regular driver is on there, maybe even a couple of extras who aren't so much. And you ask, sometimes they joke around and things like that, but it's asking questions or trying to help another fellow driver out somehow, or somebody looking for parts. I remember Ricky on there quite a bit, needing some help or looking for parts, and and people were trying to help out and pitch in where they could. But it's such a good camaraderie with those Bandit drivers. So if anybody ever think about getting into racing and not sure who to talk to, just go back there in the pits. Bandit drivers will talk. They find one and just ask them some questions, and they're there to help you out. They like to see. It was a big class. We were, other than the sprints, we were probably the second biggest class out there. Mike, what would we run, like 23 cars almost regularly?
Sometimes, actually, a couple of years ago, they were averaging right around 30.
Yeah.
Just about every night there was 3 heats, sometimes 4 heats, and a B main and an A main. So and Ricky says he's going to run 22 this year. He's going to take 1 2 off, make it a little easier on the scores. They only got to write 2 2s down. And he said he does want to race as much as possible this year in memory of his mom. So you can certainly understand that. And our prayers go out to Ricky and his family. And actually another racer connected, his mother passed away, Phil Hanna, who is, if I keep all the Hannas straight, that is Dave's brother. And Dave raced for a lot of years at Waukegan Speedway. That's where I met him. And then he also raced several years at Wilmot in a couple different classes. So again, our thoughts and prayers go out to the Hanna family as well. So, we want you always, besides B&L Office Furniture and your wife, Michelle, and your dog, any other sponsors that help you get to the racetrack each and every week?
Tim at Great American Tire and Auto Repair in Kenosha and Lindenhurst. Great help. He came by the store the other day. That's where the car is at the store in the back garage area. And, we talked about bringing it to the shop and checking out the alignment, making sure everything was good. Just kind of giving it a once over and going through the list. Luisa's Pizza, out by Paddock Lake, Silver Lake area, off of Highway 50. They've been a great supporter for quite a few years, or the years that I've been racing. Let's see. That's probably pretty much about it. I didn't have a big list of sponsors. So.
No, you made it easy on me. It was pretty easy. And again, appreciate your support, and I'm going to be looking forward to seeing it. What number is the car going to be this year? Is it going to stay 47, or are you going to have to change the number? Or?
Nope, I'm going to keep it 47. I noticed I looked on the list of the previous drivers, regulars that were out there. Nobody uses that number. So I'll use that, and I'll register as soon as Wilmot opens up registration for it. Instead of orange, the car is going to be white and with red numbers, I'm thinking. And I'll probably give it like an American theme, like a red, white, and blue theme. I kind of like that with just some red and blue racing stripes. And, same thing with lettering, red and blue lettering. I think it'll look pretty sharp. It'll stand out. That's for sure.
There you go. That's for sure. And it looks like, I'm glancing down here, that your debut will be on May 10th.
Yeah,
I do believe. Again, we wish you the best in your debut.
Thank you.
But now you're a rookie again.
I know. So that's the other thing, painting the car white. If I'm not going to be seen up front, I won't be seen in the back.
There you go. There you go. Well, Scott, always good to chat with you. And wait a minute. I'm not sure if you're seeing the Facebook live there, but Ricky wants to maybe rent your 4-cylinder for a couple of races this year. So
yeah, we'll have to see about that, Ricky.
you two. Oh, well, and Carrie Lynn is on here. Can't wait for the McKellips season to get going. And, we got a lot of folks tuning in here tonight. This is great.
Yeah, totally. That's awesome.
Well, thanks a lot, Scott. We appreciate you, as always, coming on. We'll be looking forward to seeing you on May 10th, possibly, depending upon what my announcing schedule's doing that night, because I know the IRA's down at Sycamore that night, and I believe all 3 divisions are down there at Sycamore that night. So we'll see what happens, but you'll be in good hands.
I'll be at your car show too.
And we'll be looking forward to you at the car show. That's going to be a lot of fun. On Sunday, May the 4th, 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock, free, down at the Lake Michigan waterfront. I guarantee it's going to be warmer than it was last year. And, I just guarantee that. And we're going to have a lot of fun. And Dr. Ken is going to be there once again with his band, and also a friend of mine, Bill, that plays trumpet, is going to bring his band. So we're going to have a lot of fun that day. So awesome. Looking forward to seeing everybody on May 4th down there at the lake.
Awesome. You bet.
All right. Thanks a lot, Scott. Take care. God bless.
Thanks, Mike. God bless you.
Appreciate you. Take care. Bye-bye. Okay. Well, we're going to shift gears now. We're going to bring 2 people in at once so I can get double teamed. We have Jeff Wessel joining me from Hefner Racing Products. And we have Dave Olson, who is entering his 50th season of taking photographs at all kinds of racing events, and actually all kinds of nature. He takes a little bit of this, a little bit of that. He already put a boat in the water a couple days ago to get ready and start doing some fishing. I don't know now with up north, the snow and they're getting there and all that stuff. I don't know if it's going to revert back to ice fishing. You never know. Well, welcome both of you gentlemen, good friends of mine, and saw both of you at the Southeastern Wisconsin Short Track Hall of Fame's Young Racers Day about a week ago. That was a fantastic event, Jeff. You guys did a great job. The Hall of Fame did a great job. Dick Melius and Joe Palmisano and everybody. You guys just did a super, super job at that event. And so we certainly thank you for doing that and for being a part of that. Yes, we do have your television has at least made it from your house to my basement. I'm not saying it's hooked up yet, but
success, Mike Babicz.
But we know where you live now. So.
And you and Kathy are welcome anytime. The dogs loved it when you visited us after the Young Racer show. First of all, what I have to say is I am over the top to be on this program right now with two Hall of Famers. I love you both. I've been friends with the both of you, Dave and Mike, for as long as I can remember, and my memory is going away as I get older. But you guys are amazing, and I couldn't be happier to have the both of you as friends and all the fun, crazy, wild, and exciting things that we've done through 40, 50 years. And congratulations, Dave, on 50 years, brother.
All right, right on. Yeah, it's hard to believe it's been that long, but yeah, I think, man, 50 years, it's like, I'm kind of fortunate that I can still do what I did, that it's still fun, but you talk about relationships, I think every year that gets more important than even shooting. I think I enjoy that as much as creating images. It's now the third generation with some families, and walking through the pits more than I did, and kind of catching up with all your friends and meeting new ones. I think that, to me, it's grown into that over the years, more than just the photo. So I'm pretty fortunate. I got 50 years now, so hard to believe.
Yeah, and now we've talked a little bit about the IRA and their schedule that's going to be coming up this year, and they do have a very busy schedule. It's actually starting this coming weekend, and Jeff, maybe you can help because I'm not finding my IRA schedule handy here, but they're going to, where are they scheduled to go this coming weekend?
This coming weekend, we're at West Burlington, Iowa. So it's a big trek to start the season. It's been that way for quite many years that I remember that the series has been heading down there, and I have nothing but my fingers crossed that Mother Nature makes this happen. It's a big trek even for us up here in Wisconsin to get down there, but great track, great way to kick off the season, and we'll hope for the best.
That's for sure, and then after that, I'm actually trying to pull them up here. See if I can find them on my phone. But they are going to be eventually working their way somewhat back home for a majority of the competitors. Although this year, Steve has been doing unbelievably. 34 Raceway, as they're also going to be out at 34 Raceway, is what my Facebook just told me. So, they've just got a really aggressive schedule, and they're coming back into Wisconsin. And of course, when they come back to Wisconsin, one of the places that they're going to be is at Beaver Dam Raceway, and tell the folks about that very, very, very special event that's coming up at Beaver Dam Raceway as Beaver Dam opens its final season.
Yes, and it's a big one all the way around with the 4 or 5 events that BDR is hosting this year. We're going to kick it off with the Glenn Hefner Memorial, featuring, in my opinion, the top 3 series of echelon racing in the state of Wisconsin: the Dirt Kings late models, the Badger Midgets, and of course the bumper to bumper IRA Outlaw Sprint Car Series on April 26th. Can only hope that Mother Nature shines down upon us to not only have a great night of opening racing on the final year of Beaver Dam Raceway, but to also honor Glenn Hefner, a former owner of the Beaver Dam Raceway, who was instrumental on the success of that facility, and of course for Hefner Racing Products. So looking forward to it. It's been fun to help work with Scott Boyd and Carolyn Miller and the entire crew at Beaver Dam Raceway to get this show going, as well as Steve Sinclair and all the folks from the Dirt King late models and the Badger Midgets. So looking forward to it. Fingers crossed, boys and girls. I hope we have at least a decent day of weather to get that show in.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. And the IRA starts out at 34 Raceway with the 4th and the 5th this coming weekend. on Friday, and that's Friday and Saturday, right? Yep, must be. And then the 26th of April at Beaver Dam, and then they will move to Wilmot on May 3rd for another special night that is connected with the Hefner Racing products, the Dick Colburn tribute.
How awesome is that to show respect to one of the best in the entire history of the IRA Sprint Car Series, Dick Colburn, and what Rod Colburn has done a great job of getting this together with Steve Sinclair, and I thank the both of them for putting that together. And what a cool way to show some respect to Dick Colburn. I've loved this man since I was a kid. Literally, I grew up in Muskego, a bike ride away from the Colburn's house, where I would ride my bicycle past their driveway just to watch him working on the sprint car, whether it be in the garage, washing the car in the driveway. So it's way cool to have a tribute to one of my local racing heroes.
Now, when we had Dick on last time and talking about the tribute coming up, I put the bug in his ear, and I've got confirmation now at the Young Racers event, because I had a long talk with him and with the boss, Nancy, and she is going to let him get in a race car.
Oh boy!
You know, we were originally looking at Founders Night, but now since nobody's listening to us, it may happen May 3rd. You may actually see him in a car May 3rd, and it's probably good that Steve has gotten tied up and is not listening, because he gets nervous anytime I talk about some of the veterans getting in cars or bringing old cars out. He's like, but I don't know if the car's going to be legal. I don't know if it's safe. And Steve, relax. This is he's going to take a couple laps. Nancy has made that clear. Dick is not allowed to race.
I agree. I don't even think Mr. Colburn himself is going to want to go full throttle down, but just to get him back in the car would be way cool to see. And I'm going to jokingly say, I can't believe Steve Sinclair was scared to be on with Dave Olson and I tonight. So, but we'll figure it out.
There we go. So, but yeah, I really did have a nice visit with Dick and Nancy. And actually Joe Palmisano's mom and Evie Roble and Bob. I mean, it was funny. It was supposed to be the Young Racers Day, and I talked to a few of the Young Racers, but I talked to more of us seasoned people than I think I did with the young guys. It was just a lot of fun, a great event, and I'm already looking forward to next year when it's all put together. Dave, I know you came up and you sort of semi got pressed into duty because another person that's been around racing a long time, Elaine Miller, I still haven't gotten clear on the entire story. Somehow she was helping her granddaughter play soccer or something and fell and broke both of her wrists, and she couldn't hold the camera and all this. And our best wishes to Elaine, that things, she gets back to the Elaine we know and love, and that's taken a lot of pictures. Faye Hedricks jumped in and was taking some with her cell phone, and there was another gentleman, I apologize, I don't recall his name. He was taking some pictures as well, but so we got it historically covered, but it was a little scramble for a while. And Dave, you didn't bring your gear. I mean,
no, I walked in. Dick Melius says, "Hey, you got your cameras?" I'm like, "No, that's Elaine's deal." And so I found out about it then. But I've called her and texted her a few times, giving her some grief, and asked if they put the cast on so she could hold the camera, and if she was going to let Jerry drive her car. Fun questions like that. But that's crazy how that freak stuff happens like that. But I think isn't it Tommy has a throwback Dick Colburn wrap on his car this year that Rod put on there? Is that what it is?
And actually, I've heard that they've got two cars that have
I did.
wrap, and that's why we're pretty sure that Dick's going to be able to get into a car because they've got two. And so we're pretty sure that they're bringing Nancy actually said that she would talk to them about bringing the second car.
Well, I think
it's excited about this as I think we are.
Yeah. I think if I remember what Rod told me, it's 50 years since Dick's first IRA championship or feature win, one of the
Feature
two.
win.
Feature win. So I think it's just kind of ironic, you know, Dick Colburn, you know, and I talked to Maddie about this when we did a quick interview at the Hall of Fame event. I remember he's one of my favorite guys, you know, my buddy Todd Dustin, him and I would roll up to Raceway Park on a Tuesday night and watch the super modifieds and then go down there. We met Dick, we sat in the car. I got some pictures and then I learned he was into fishing and had the sport shop in Muskego. So early on, he was one of my heroes. And now 50 years later, we talk fishing and, you know, here we are 50 years, kind of coincidental. And Wilmot is really where I started. Hales Corners, Wilmot, Slinger Sun Prairie were kind of by where I lived in Hales Corners, but, you know, very impressionable years and kind of where I started. So pretty cool with Dick's deal.
Yeah, and you know, Founders Night, of course, recognizes the late Ray Toft and the late Junior Dodd and Whitey Harris. They were the three people that founded the IRA, and we had some discussion. We've gotten things clarified. This will be the 59th consecutive season for the IRA. Okay. This will be your 59. Be watching, be listening, because the 60th year is going to blow it out of the park. Awesome. So the 60th year, which will be in 2026, you know, just be watching because there's going to be some cool things happen in the 60th year that we're already working on. I'm trying to help Steve with. But the IRA was actually founded 60 years ago now, but it was in December. It was at Ray Toft's kitchen table with Junior Dodd and Whitey Harris, and they signed the papers. They took them to the village attorney for Antioch, and he filed them, and that founded the IRA, which is actually in it would have been 60 years from now, 65. Yeah. And but the first race was not run until the spring of 66. So that's why the 60th year will be celebrated next year. Okay. So that is a trivia question. You know, I don't know what it'll get you. If you stop by Jeff Wessel or the Hefner's Hauler in the pits, it may, or the Colburns, it may get you a soda pop. If you know the answer to that question, or if you see Dave Olson, he might take your picture. So anyway, Dave, what is probably, and I know that there's a lot of them, but what's probably the biggest event that you have covered and taken pictures of?
Oh, wow. Yeah, I think the first of anything is a big deal, right? You know, my first Daytona 500, you know, I think those make the biggest impression on you. My first Knoxville Nationals, quick story, I had seen an open wheel magazine, man, blown away by the pictures, and I'm looking at all the names, and so I went out to Knoxville and introduced myself to Dick Berggren, who was, you know, at the time he had stock car racing and was quite the personality. So I had all my cameras on me. I introduced myself and I said, "Hey, how do I get pictures in your open wheel magazine?" And so he gave me his card, and then before he left, I said, "Well, how do you get the cover?" And he kind of laughed and he said, "Well, you got to shoot them vertically because the magazine is vertical, so you have to turn your camera and shoot vertically." So kind of the way things went, I shot every car every day vertically, and I'm like, why not? Somebody's got to get the cover. And back then, you know, without email and whatnot, right, I got a package in the mail, and it was a picture of the cover laminated on a wooden plaque with a placard on it that said, you know, the issue and cover by Dave Olson. And I had a real nice letter from Dick, and he just said, congratulations on being published. So I think, situations like that, have the most, memories for me, just because it's kind of tied into the photography part of it. But on the West Coast, before Ascot closed, going out and shooting the Pacific Coast Nationals, and then I think developing the friendships that go with that, right? I mean, Jeff Gordon, when he raced, midgets regionally, Tony Stewart, these were all when they were young, before they got famous, and keeping relationships with them over the years, all go into that 50 years. I think relationship just tops everything. At my age, you just talk about your health, what's wrong with you, and then you're like, oh, remember that time back then? I was shooting before they invented color film. No, not really, but it was close. And I feel like going through 50 years worth of photos and negatives, it's really been fun to kind of revisit history, right? Because I think the longer a photo is around, it's more valuable, right? Whether it's a person or whether it's a race car or an event, you got 50 years of history there, and it's been really fun going through bins. And I wasn't very organized back in the day. I don't know what year some of these were
You
taken,
haven't
but
seen my basement. What's
no,
next?
no. Trust me, but I got bins of stuff, and it's been fun to go through things. And oh man, I remember that, right? And good memories from back in the day. So yeah, that's about it. I think that those are some events that stick out to me.
Well, I'll tell you, if we always hope Mother Nature is kind, but if Mother Nature is not kind, and there's an event at Wilmot that both of you are at, I want to invite you guys over, and you can take a look at the boxes of stuff that I've got to my left over here that we've gone through. That's a lot of Wilmot Raceway, and for that matter, Waukegan Speedway, Milwaukee Mile, Road America. There's tons of history over here.
There you go.
I probably have a few photos, Dave, that you don't have, which would maybe surprise some folks. But but yeah, Jenny from Wilmot came over, and we spent about 3 hours, and we barely scratched the surface.
Yeah, I'm sure Mike Naparella, Jim Remington,
I have photos from both of them, gentlemen.
Yeah. Those guys were the veterans when I showed up at 16 years old and literally standing on the track, and they're like, "Geez, kid, get away from there." I'm
John Quinn, too.
Yeah.
You can't forget John Quinn and Checker Flag Racing News, and
yeah, that's right.
And Doris Quinn, and I mean, it's just the memories, like you say, the memories and the friendships and that you make are just outstanding.
I agree.
I got to do something, and I'm keeping you guys here because we're not done. But I do want to get a quick plug in for Great Lakes Dragaway, since John wasn't able to join us today. They are actually this coming weekend. They're having a fun race weekend on the 5th and the 6th, Saturday and Sunday, and actually they're having just fun racing until it's always fun to go racing, but their actual fun racing is listed until right after Easter. And then they're going to get going with super bikes, and their bracket racing will start up on Saturday, April the 26th. So if you're interested in finding out more, of course, you can give them a call at 262-302-2138. And let them know that you're interested in finding out more. They have track rentals available. They are going to have the junior dragsters. One of the junior dragsters was on display at the Young Racers program, and they race down at Great Lakes all the time. And also they race down there with the snowmobiles. And they put together a snowmobile track down there at Great Lakes that originally they were going to race on it as clay last year, and then they were going to let the grass grow and then run it on the grass. This year, they had world records on the clay. So now it's still covered. They are not going to grow grass. They're leaving it clay, and they haven't come out with the entire clay snowmobile schedule, but they're going to have a number of events. And I mean, they had sleds from all over the country that came for the event they had last year in September.
Mm-hmm.
And they're looking forward to just having a lot of fun with that. So yours truly might end up doing a little announcing for the snowmobiles.
Nice.
They didn't
announcing. I think you should take a run.
Yeah.
I got a sled here.
There you go. So anyway, well, we'll see what happens. You never know. I did go in a monster truck when Broadway Bob used to have a dirt side, and they used to have off-road racing, and they used to have dirt drags and everything on the dirt side, and I announced the dirt side for them. Well, they brought a monster truck show in, and I did go over the jumps in a monster truck with a microphone.
Oh, boy.
I talked as I went over, and I thought I was strapped in pretty good. Not when we landed. When we landed, Mike went up, and his head, even with a helmet on and everything, hit the top of the roll bar. And, I mean, I was fine. But, yeah, that was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun there. So, and actually a number of us on days that Wilmot wasn't racing, we were known to go over to Broadway Bob's Great Lakes Dragaway and just, spectate and have a lot of fun. We also set a world record for number of people that fit into a porta potty.
Oh, what? Wait a minute. Why I have not heard this story before, Mr. Babicz.
Well, and we're going to cut it off now. But we had a lot of fun. Steve Green was there. His wife was there with us. And, we had a lot of fun. I don't know what the number was, but I can tell you that we all actually did fit in. And, of course, the prerequisite is the door had to close. And so it closed with all of us in there. We had a lot of fun. Good days, good times. So anyway, coming up this season, gentlemen, is there an event? We'll start with Dave, since he's the elder statesman, Jeff. Is there an event that's going to this year that is going to be a first for you?
Well, so, bucket lists, we always say that, right? I've made a list of tracks that I want to get to while I still can, right? I actually filled in here a few weeks ago down in Tennessee for the World of Outlaw Late Models for that night for their event. That was a new track for me. I've got some USAC Eastern Storm tracks I want to get to. Pennsylvania is just iconic for tracks. There's a whole, Pennsylvania Speed Week out there. So, as I put these on the schedule, it's just like, oh man, you put them on there and all of a sudden you get busy and whatnot and one excuse or another. But I would say, my next one would probably be what I would say I'm looking forward to. I think I said this before. It's like, you just don't know. I mean, how many days you got. I treat that next race as my last. And in fact, I'm sure people have seen it online, but, Mark Ray, Badger Midget champ racer, and the iconic Ray family, he passed away suddenly. So Friday, on my way to 34 Raceway for the IRA opener, the wake visitation is in Davenport. So the Ray family has been friends since 1978. That was my first year at Angel Park. I actually, walked in there and I met John Heisdorf. I didn't know who he was, and had two beautiful cars, the number 1 and 2. And I met Dave Ray and Ken Beertzer, and they have been friends ever since. The Ray family, Davey started racing, and Mark's son, Robbie, just really sad. I hate it for that family. So I'm going to stop by there on my way down, visit with them for a bit. And so, like I say, you just don't know, how many races you got left. So I'm looking forward to Friday, weather permitting, and we'll go from there. So
please pass my condolences on to the Ray family.
Will
I've
do.
met them several times at Wilmot and also at other tracks that I was with the Badger Midgets.
For sure.
Mr. Wessel, I think you were a part of my first ever Knoxville Nationals experience.
I do believe it, and it's been a while.
Well, we might be able to get down there this year. I'm working on it. I am planning on going to Knoxville May 30th for the Hall of Fame induction that Steve is going to be inducted. Although Steve's trying to talk me into working that night because the IRA wingless are going to be at Sycamore. So I'm like, Steve, Kathy and I got this. We got a hotel. We're all set. And he's like, well, but I might need you to go to Sycamore. And I said, well, how fast can I make it from Knoxville to Sycamore? Well, about 3 hours. And I said, well, we'll see how
you can do it.
So we'll see how all that works out that weekend. Events though that you want to hit.
Well, we're gonna hit all the usual ones. I mean, my highlight of every year is, of course, the Knoxville Nationals. I tell people I am at the races 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, at Hefner Racing Products, and I mean that respectfully. My job is to work with all of our racers, all of our teams, all of our car owners, and the drivers. So I have the privilege to work at the races Monday through Friday. A lot of personal relations that I'm still texting, emailing, getting Facebook messages Saturday and Sunday. So I kind of lay low a little bit locally the last few years just because I need a little bit of downtime. I still keep track of everything. I still know what's going on in our world, locally racing and regionally. But my key events, Knoxville Nationals, that's something that's so near and dear to my heart. Anything go-kart racing for sure is near and dear to my heart. That's literally where Dave and I met, through go-kart racing at Badger and Dousman, and which took us to national races across the entire country. So as far as anything new, that was a great question that you asked Dave a few minutes ago. I'm sure there's things that Sherry and I have talked about, some events that we want to try or go back to. I know my wife Sherry loves Eldora Speedway, so that's a possibility to get back to there. So we'll see what happens here in the next 4 or 5 weeks as the season opens up.
Okay, well, you talk about bucket list. Well, we're gonna keep chatting because I just received word that the only people that know that we're chatting are the three of us. Because Kent's internet just went down.
Oh no!
So,
Listen, I'm used to that. I play in 2 bands, and I feel like every gig I play, it's the sound guy and my mom and dad. My mom stays through sound check, and it's like, honey, your father's tired. You sound great. We'll see you. So it's basically the band and the sound guy. So yeah, I'm kind of used to this, man. Right on.
Well, ironically, once I say goodbye and I go off, I think I might be recording it on my laptop. So we'll see if we kind of, we'll all keep our fingers crossed.
All right.
But anyway, I'm just going to let him know we're continuing.
We're going. We're racers.
That's right. We're used to, weather changes.
Or listen, remember when we were at Wilmont at an event and something happened to the transformer and blew up and lights went off or whatever?
We might not be on with Kent, but Scott Carpenter's still watching us. So,
okay.
Our number one listener, Scott Carpenter.
There you go.
Well, anyway, we were saying about bucket list. Well, this Wednesday, Kathy and I are leaving on our bucket list. We are going for a Mediterranean cruise on Princess Cruise Lines. We'll be leaving Saturday, actually, from Barcelona, and we will eventually end up in Rome for 5 days.
Wow.
And when I asked Jim Trado the other day, because he's going to help publicize our car show coming up in May, I said, I'm going to try to see if I can find a racetrack over in Rome. And he laughed and replied, well, probably the only thing you're going to find is the Colosseum that might come close to a racetrack. But other than that, they do have don't they have a Grand Prix in Italy somewhere? and run on the streets? I'm sure they do.
Yeah, I mean, Monaco is, but that's a
Monaco, yeah.
Memorial Day weekend, so yeah,
There we
you'll
go.
have to stay there for a bit.
That's in Italy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, somehow I feel like Mike will find the microphone on the ship shuffleboard contest or something, and he'll be announcing something. I'm
I'll
not
be
sure,
announcing the
but
Pope's, coming out to
yeah,
the public.
somehow,
in
some
Vatican
way, we'll
Square.
hear him behind the mic. In fact, all the tracks I've been to all the years, I've never met an announcer who announces while driving the pace truck around the track. I've never run into that before, and that's our Hall of Famer right there, Mike Babicz. So, Mike, you're the only one I've ever met that does that. So, well done.
Well, I appreciate that, Dave, and I appreciate both of you guys, Jeff and Dave. I mean, you truly are good friends. We've shared a lot of memories over the years, and hopefully we're going to share a lot more memories. And to me, Dave, and you do it with your camera. Jeff does it with his work at Hefner Racing Products and helping racers get on the racetrack. I do it with my announcing and my program. We create and help create memories.
Yep, absolutely.
And those memories last for a lifetime, as long as the Coliseum.
Nice.
And that's the neat thing about Dave mentioned about being on, doing some people for their third generation. Not that I want to one up you, but I have done, if I'm adding it all up correctly and figure out how everybody fits in the family tree, I've done at least 4 and possibly 5 generations of UTEX.
Oh,
I've
man.
announced at
That's
least.
a great family, by the way.
So I'm Scott and Trinity helped straighten that out, because Trinity actually went through the tree with me when I had her on the program. But
I don't know. I think you're counting uncles and things. I don't know about 5 generations. Jesus, I don't know.
We're not that old.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's right.
There's no way.
So anyway, it has been a lot of fun having you guys on tonight, and we'll be looking forward to seeing you. No, I won't be making the trek to 34. I will, if we can get internet. We do have Wi-Fi on the ship, so I don't know if we're going to be able to get the races from 34, although it'll be like 2:00 in the morning or later. Yeah. So I might have to watch the tape replay later. So, so anyway, and that's why basically that the next couple of weeks that we're not going to have a live program, unless racing, it can change.
Right.
So if Kent says he's okay trying to do a show while I'm gone, Mr. Wessel, you may be getting a call to
host the
show while I'm
gone.
In. Right. Well, and he's back on, so he just heard you say you're in. So we will let you know. We will be in touch. And I also want to thank Hefner Racing Products for coming on board as a supporter of the Let's Go Racing Motorsports report. And Dave, I'm going to add you as well. You just need to get me, you've got your fishing, you've got your studio you do, and you've got your race photography. So we will also give you a plug each week as well once I get the business card in the mail.
All right.
Or the check, one or the other. No.
Yeah, right.
Well, again, thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Scott Carpenter, who is still watching and listening in. And thank you, Kent, for your help. We look forward to seeing you guys at the races. We wish everyone, whatever religion that you happen to favor, a good Holy Week that will be coming up probably before I speak to you folks again, and a very blessed and a holy Easter as well. I will certainly put in good words to you. Hopefully we will see the Pope. We're hoping that his health improves, and we do get to see him while we are in Rome. Right now we are scheduled to, actually. We're scheduled to experience with him.
Enjoy your trip of a lifetime. That is amazing, and I look forward to some updates and, of course, some stories when you and Kathy get back. That's awesome.
Well, we definitely will get that up to you. And Dave, I may have to reach out to you about what kind of camera do I take to, I don't know how much memory I've got left on my cell phone. Again, thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Dave.
All right.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Kent. Thank you, all of our folks out there tuning in tonight. And until we see you next time, this is Mike Babicz wishing you a pleasant evening, the best of tomorrows. Remember, everybody, just say no to drugs. Thanks. Good night. God bless. And gentlemen, you can say it with me.
Let's
go
racing. Good night, guys. Been great to be with some Hall of Famers. Love you guys.
All right. Love you too, man. Talk to you guys soon.
Love you guys.